I want to welcome you to my safe space. Welcome you to my self help podcast, where you will be provided with the tools and insights to help you become the best version of yourself. I am inviting you, like truly inviting you, to join me as I explore topics around personal growth, topics around mindfulness, productivity, and you'll also have the opportunity to hear from experts as well as individuals who have overcome their own challenges and obstacles in their own life. So, whether you're looking to build better habits, find inner peace, or achieve your goals, this podcast is here to support you on that journey. So, sit back, relax,
It's time for tea time.
and let's dive
My
in.
game is so tight and I got it like Kittle. The spot I'ma hit you. It's right up the middle. Your block as I get through. Keep trying to protect you. Act like I can get you.
It's time for tea time. It's time for tea time.
What it do?
Hitting the dash like hyphen.
What it do? What it do? We are starting the day off. What's good, family? What is good? What's good, family? You are tapped in for your tea. And this is Tea Time Podcast, where transformation takes time, but that time spent right brings transformation. So let's lock in.
It's time for tea time.
Family. Listen, let's just get real for a second. First of all, I hope everybody's week's been great. I hope everybody's been elevating, growing, continuously developing, continuously becoming the best version of yourself. So hats off to you for just staying locked in. You know, as we take this journey of life head on, you know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. Nobody has the answers. Nobody knows what's right. Nobody knows what's wrong. You know what I mean? We are all just trying to figure this thing out, and and finding our ways to guide ourselves toward the person that we want to be, the dreams that we hope to capture, and just the different experiences that we go through in life. So just hats off to you. Shouts out to everybody out there, taking that step towards being a better version of themselves. But family, we got to get real for a second, and this is something that came across me, and I'm like, I gotta talk to the Tea Time family about this, because it's real. You know what I mean? And that's what we encounter all the times, and we fail to realize sometimes that we're even in that moment, and just little shifts can happen that can help, put us in the right lane, put us in the right mindset to continue moving forward and continuing to become the best version of ourselves. So how many times have you set a goal and you felt fired up about it for a week? You probably even felt fired up about it for maybe even 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden you just lost energy. You told yourself that you're going to start doing something tomorrow, or you told yourself that, whatever that thing is, you'll get back to it on Monday. And that's kind of where I want to talk today. If you've been following the Tea Time page, I've been doing a lot of talks about just discipline. And on today, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the discipline dilemma. Just wanting the result, but struggling to do the work when you don't feel like it. Motivation is something that will always hype you up, but take the time to question, what is discipline? Because discipline is what carries. It's what carries you when the hype runs out. And today we're diving deep into this truth. And if you only move when you feel like it, you'll never get where you're going. So discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And that's kind of where we at today. And I got to start you off with just talking about a story within myself. Speaking about moments of myself. And let me tell you about a season in my life when discipline saved me. There was a time when I truly wanted to just like kind of give up on everything. Really wanted to give up on this podcast here. I wanted to give up on my music, my art, my creativity. Wanted to give up on pursuing future endeavors. Just I was tired. You know what I mean? I just didn't feel like talking and didn't feel like being around anybody. Just didn't feel like doing anything. I found myself in that dark space, and I had convinced myself that nobody was even listening, nobody was paying attention, nobody even cared. But then I asked myself, did I start this only for the days that I didn't feel good, or did I start this because it was a calling, or did I start this because of moments that I'm in currently right now? You know what I mean? Not necessarily right now in my life, but at that time frame. Like, did I start this for these moments that I'm currently sitting in right now? So in that moment, I made a promise to myself. You know what I mean? I took the time in that moment to say that, even if 10 people, you know what I mean, are listening to me, if it's only 10 people that support me, if it's only 10 people that's paying attention to me, like, I need to listen to those 10 people and understand that those 10 people are showing up for me, and it's important that I show up for them. You know what I mean? It's important for me to show up for myself. You know what I mean? Being a part of that 10 people. And some days, a lot of days, you know what I mean, I really just didn't want to. You know what I mean? I record with, a lack of energy. It'd take so much of everything just to hit the record button. You know what I mean? It would take so much for me to actually get up and go and, go to these webinars, go to these talk groups, go to these meetings and things that were scheduled, you know what I mean? But I stayed consistent. And because I stayed disciplined, this podcast is still growing. It's still going. It's still growing. It's still glowing. You know what I mean? I'm still reaching, thousands of people worldwide. And family, in that season, I learned. That season taught me something. It taught me that feelings fade. It taught me that discipline builds futures. Just staying consistent, staying locked in, staying focused, that builds futures. So, got 4 points that I want to make when really discussing, discipline, and the importance of it, the staple that it can mean for you in your life currently right now, how it over trumps motivation, and motivation to be a fleeting thing, and how relying on discipline and consistency actually, increases, wellness and well-being. But point one is that motivation versus discipline, and understanding that motivation is just a spark, you know what I mean? But discipline is the firewood. When motivation will be the thing that helps get you started, discipline is that thing that keeps the fire burning when that spark is gone. So we all encounter, new adventures. We all encounter new experiences, new ideas, new things that we want to get involved in, new situations that we want to encounter. And we get excited to do these things. But then once we realize just how much work we have to put in, we realize, just how much time it's actually going to take, the sacrifices, the risks, the things that actually go behind the success, and a lot of the things that we want to do. Motivation is not the thing that keeps you going. You know what I mean? Yes, you'd soon find a passion and everything for it, but motivation is not the thing that keeps you going. It's the discipline. It's the understanding that I know where I want to be, and I know where I'm at, and I know what I'm going to have to do to get there. So motivation just becomes that spark. It becomes that thing that makes you want to do it, makes you want to pursue it, makes you continuously show up. But then once that work sets in, and once you become tired, and once you see, the sacrifices that go into it, that's when discipline becomes that firewood. Once you got the spark going and the fire is there, you rely on keeping that fire burning. And when that spark leaves and that fire's still burning, you're still there to keep going. So, motivation versus discipline, shows, how important it is for you to maintain consistency and to keep pushing forward, even in those moments when you don't feel like wanting to do it. You know, those moments where you may have that, lack of hope of actually getting it done. Just go ahead and do it. Point two is the way we see it. We have to look at discipline like a muscle. You don't get stronger overnight. You don't go and lift weights and all of a sudden the next day you hitting goals. You bypassing plateaus. That's not what happens. You don't get stronger overnight. You train it. The more you show up, even when it's hard, the strongest muscle becomes. So you want discipline in your life. It's going to take some work. You have to build that thing into a habit. It's not just going to be like, okay, I want to be disciplined. I wake up the next day and I'm just disciplined. No, you got to show up the next day. And then you got to show up the day after that. You got to make it a habit to show up. Not just get the job done, but make it a habit to show up. Because once you show up and you get there, there's no telling what comes behind that. You know what I mean? You just got to keep going and keep putting the right foot in front of the left and just keep taking those steps forward and train yourself to be disciplined. Train yourself to be in a routine. Train yourself, into these habits of things that you want to become, that you want to have in your life. So look at discipline like a muscle. And every day you got to understand you got to put something forward to it in order for you to be able to build that strong in your foundation in your life. Point three is the 5-minute rule. When you don't feel like doing something, tell yourself, I'll just do it for 5 minutes. Not 6, not 7, not 20. And I'm saying this, family, because I know how we are. We are very stubborn people, and that's how it is. Okay, T, I hear you. You said, I'm only going to do it for 5 minutes, but, I'm a little bit stronger than that. I'm going to tell myself I'm going to do it for 10. Listen, tell yourself that you're going to do it for 5 minutes. That's it. More often not, those 5 minutes turn into 20 minutes. They turn into 30 minutes. And before you know it, you are completing something or you're exactly where you want to be. Just get started. Use the 5-minute rule as a way to get yourself started. There's a show that I watch, Brain Games, that lets you know just kind of how you can, manipulate the brain. And that's what the 5-minute rule acts as. It acts as a tool of manipulation for self-growth. All right, I'm only going to do it for 5 minutes. And then, you sit there and you get started, and then the passion kicks in and that discipline kicks in and that consistency starts to kick in. And next thing you know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, you've completed that project. You've completed that school paper. You completed whatever it is that you're setting out to do, whatever goal is in front of you that you are procrastinating on. Just tell yourself you're going to do it for 5 minutes. And before you know it, you will be completed with whatever it is that you are trying to do. Point 4 is feelings versus commitments. Your feelings are real, but your feelings are not always reliable. That is something that I've learned through my process of therapy. That's something that I've learned through my own process and journey of becoming my own person and my own healing and my own self-growth. Your feelings are real. They are there, but they're not always reliable. Discipline is choosing commitment over convenience, and that's how you win. Let me say that again. Discipline is choosing commitment over convenience, and that's how you win. It may be convenient for me to go home so that I can get rest, but I'm committed to stopping at the gym before I go home and completing an 1.5 to 2 hour workout before I go home for my own mental health. Discipline is choosing that commitment over what's convenient. There are going to be days when you don't feel like showing up. There are going to be days where your mental and your physical are just not aligned. That's where discipline becomes the staple in your life. That's when you pull that discipline tool out the bag, and I got to drive past the gym before I even get to the house. So why not just stop there first? Yeah, I know I may not feel like running the treadmill today. I don't feel like moving from machine to machine. My shoulder's still hurting from the chest workout from the other day. Like I just really don't. It's been a long day at work. Choose commitment over what's convenient. Your feelings are there. Yes, you are entitled to feel that way. You're going to feel that way. It's natural human reaction to feel that way. But is that reliable? Feeling that way does what for you in the long run? Choose commitment. The commitment that you're making to yourself to be a better person. Choose commitment over what's convenient. I heard a saying today. We've all heard it. I've heard it a million times before, but I heard a saying today, and sometimes you hear some things and it just kind of give you that spark and wake you up. And that saying was, it's not going to be easy. It's I know it's hard. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's easy to rely on your feelings. It's easy to choose convenience. It's easy to choose comfort. But to be a better person, you need to commit to the challenge. To be a better person, you need to commit to the goal. You need to commit to the dream. You need to commit to, I am stepping into a new chapter into my life, and this calls for me to do plan A, B, and C. And I'm going to commit to plan A, B, and C no matter what I feel. And if that means I only got to step into this for the first 30 days and then reevaluate and go into it the next 30, then that's how that goes. But for right now, I'm committing to that, and I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to choose commitment over convenience, because that's how I will choose to win. I always got an affirmation to serve up for you. I'm always going to serve you up with an affirmation.
It's time for tea time.
And that's just going to roll us into my affirmation section, family. I always want to leave you with something, some positive words that you can speak into yourself to start to speak life into you and what it is that you want. And I choose these affirmations based on the topic of choice for the month, the topic of choice for the week, or however it comes, And these affirmations align with discipline. This episode is for anybody who's looking to build discipline. But I don't know how I'm supposed to do it. Check the points. Point 1 through 4. First of all, you need to identify that motivation is less than discipline. Motivation is a powerful tool, but it's fleeting. It's that one tool that always becomes dull and you have to figure out a way to sharpen it. Whereas when you sharpen discipline, it's everlasting. You have to understand that discipline is a muscle and it's something that you have to train. Discipline is not something that overnight you all of a sudden have it instilled within your daily lifestyle. Discipline needs to be trained. You need to show up for you in order for you to show up for you. Point 3 is the 5-minute rule. Just a jump starter. How do I really don't feel like doing this? You know what? 5 minutes don't hurt me. I'm going to jump in this for 5 minutes and I'm going to just see, what happens. And before you know it, that 5 minutes will take you into that 20, 30 minutes that's needed for you to complete whatever task you need. And point 4 is feelings versus commitments. Your feelings are real. Your feelings are real, but they are just not reliable. Discipline is choosing that commitment over convenience. And that's how you choose to win. Take the time with me now. Take the time alone. Write these down. I've had some of my listeners reach out to me and say, T, I took the affirmations from your episode and I recorded them, and I put some reverb behind them and some white noise, and I just kind of create my own mantra. You can do whatever you want with this. I'm just here to lay it on you as a tool for you to use in order for you to invite discipline into your life. So say this with me, family. I do not wait to feel ready. I create readiness through action. Discipline is my superpower. I keep promises to myself even when it's hard. Consistency is my currency for success. I do not wait to feel ready. I create readiness through action. Discipline is my superpower. I keep promises to myself even when it's hard. Consistency is my currency for success. And then, family, I want to take the time to challenge you. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to take time to choose one area where you need more discipline, whether it's health, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's faith. And I want you to break it down into the smallest possible steps, not the big leap, but just the baby step. So for an example, instead of 10,000 steps, start with 1,000. Instead of saving 500, just save 20. And then I want you to keep track. I want you to write it down. Write down every small win as proof to yourself that you're showing up. And then celebrate the progress, not the perfection. Discipline is about persistence, not flawless execution. So choose an area that you want more discipline, break it down into small steps. Keep the track and write it down to show up for yourself, and then celebrate. Celebrate your progress, not your perfection, because discipline is about persistence and not flawless execution. You know, like I tell you, life is a journey. It's not a destination. Everything is always going to be steps. We will never get to the finish line. The goalpost will always move because that's just who we are within human nature. We are everlasting beings looking for continuous growth, always looking for more, looking to expand, looking to be greater. So don't look for a flawless execution. Just look for persistence. Look for consistency. Look for discipline. Got a few prompts. If you want to take the time to write down a few prompts, where in my life do I rely too much on motivation? Where in my life do I rely too much on motivation? What's one area where discipline could change everything for me? What's one area where discipline could change everything for me? What promise have I broken to myself? And how can I recommit today? What promise have I broken to myself? And how can I recommit today? And lastly, how will I celebrate myself for showing up, even when I didn't feel like it? How will I celebrate myself for showing up, even when I don't feel like it? Family, Discipline is love in action. It's proof that you believe in your future more than your excuses. This week, I challenge you. Do it even when you don't feel like it, because on the other side of discipline is your breakthrough. This has been the Tea Time Podcast, where transformation takes time, but that time spent right brings transformation. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Tea Time Podcast, and I hope you found today's episode helpful and insightful. Remember, self-improvement, it is a journey, it's not a destination. Take what you've learned today and apply it to your life. Remember to be kind to yourself. Stay focused on your goals and take action towards the life that you want. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, as well as like, rate, and comment on this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the Tea Time TV YouTube channel. That link is always in the bio. That way we can assure that you stay up to date and you never miss an episode. And please leave a review to help us reach out and expand to more people. To be a guest, or if you have a story to tell or a unique experience that you want to share, please be sure to email us at teatimecast@gmail.com. That's TTIMECAST@gmail.com. Visit the website www.teatimecast.com to stay up to date with the exclusive content, community resources, and Tea Time merchandise to support your favorite self-help podcasts. And last but not least, follow the link provided in the description to support the Tea Time Podcast. All proceeds go toward ongoing development of our production to continue inspiring and bringing awareness to mental health worldwide. Always remember, peace. Positive energy always creates elevation. Until next time, keep growing, keep thriving, and rising. From yours truly.
It's time for tea time.
Out.